months ago, she was the star of this race at its inaugural running. 12 months later, this year, she returns as the Queen of Greyhound Racing out to defend her crown. The two Queens of Greyhound Racing. She's a pearl, 1 length to Wow She's Fast. Wow She's Fast got up on the rail. AMRON Boy storms, but the Queen did it. Wow She's Fast has won it.
Yes, she did. Wow She's Fast, taking out Phoenix Edition 1, Phoenix Edition 2. Welcome to the Phoenix Flight Path. We are absolutely pumped to be partnering with the Melbourne Greyhound Racing Association for a mini podcast series on the Spring Carnival of Greyhound Racing at the Meadows, culminating with the third running of Australia's first Greyhound slot race, the $1 million Phoenix. We'll get a moving close eye on everything 2023 Phoenix related, as well as learn some of the stories from the slot holders, and of course get the inside info from the trainers. And as always, when I'm talking Meadows, talking Green Light On Racing and Sport podcast, there's only one man to get to, and he is just about to charge through a wedding and pull that apart. It's not his own wedding. Corey Smith, welcome to you, my friend.
If it was my own wedding, I'd be a little bit concerned, Jim. I think that's a fair way away. But I'll tell you what, I know I'm a little bit biased, and I obviously have a massive soft spot for the Phoenix. But hearing that intro and hearing that call from last year, I'll give you a little bit of a rap because I got goosebumps, to be honest. I absolutely love the Phoenix, and hearing that call kind of brings back plenty of memories.
It does, and it was, look, honestly, mate, as a broadcaster, I've said this moving forward from the Phoenix was the scariest race of my life. Really, like, it really did scare me, 100%. Like, it was frightening. I couldn't hear my own level as I called the race. Just one of those just amazing atmospheres, and it's something that I hope they can replicate this year. It's going to be hard to do. If Wow She's Fast makes it 3, the joint will probably fall apart. They're going to have to reinforce the MGRA, the building, because if Sportsbet team up with Wow She's Fast and she does it again, I won't be calling, thank God, but I reckon Dan Hibbert will be in for an absolute nightmare up there.
Well, to be honest, we won't be able to hear Dan on course if she gets up for the third time in a row. And I reckon I might just put in my resignation, give about 2 minutes notice, and go and enjoy it with the Sportsbet crew out there, because they would absolutely tear the roof off the joint. And I'm excited. Even if she's not there, I still think we can get that sort of atmosphere and have a ripping time of it. It's just set up that way. The tribal atmosphere that you get from the different slot holders at the Phoenix is unlike anything else I think we have in greyhound racing. Once again, I am biased, but it's certainly the race that I look forward to the most.
Absolutely pumped, mate, to have the Green Light On Racing and Sport podcast teaming up with the Meadows for this mini-series. Approximately 7 weeks away, the Phoenix, and we will be releasing an episode every week. The first couple will be a little bit odd time-wise because we obviously have the Melbourne Cup holiday, but then we will be looking at getting it out on a regular basis. So keep an eye on the MGRA, the Melbourne Greyhound Racing Association socials, and they'll keep you up to date. But on this show, mate, giveaways. We're actually giving away some Phoenix merch packs. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, we had a conversation about that the other day, Jim, and I meant to run it by Scott, so I'm sure when he listens to this for the first time, he'll go, "Oh, Corey, what are you doing to me?" But no, we'll put together a bit of a merch pack for each and every week, and we'll have a bit of a giveaway. So we'll have a nice little question each week, and the question that you and I probably deem the most accurate, the most correct, whatever it is for that week, we'll get a merch pack. So we'll send that out to them and make sure they're decked out in some nice Phoenix gear.
I like that, mate. I like that a lot. Also, we will be covering a hell of a lot of good racing over the next 7 weeks, obviously culminating with the Phoenix, but we've got the Top Guns. We've got the Silver Chief sneaks in there on Phoenix night as well, something that I think will really build that support card.
Yeah, it's going to be a ripper. Obviously, the Phoenix has been the headline act the last couple of years. We have been toying around with a few different things, and the way that the calendar works this year, it just makes sense to have the Silver Chief on that night. It just makes the whole Dream Chasers Festival kind of flow, and doesn't take any ill effects. Obviously, the last year's Silver Chief winner, AMRON Boy, backed up a week later in the Phoenix and nearly got the job done. That won't be able to be the case. That's the one negative, but as you said, it really bolsters that support card and should be an absolute ripping night.
Gave a little bit of a mention a moment ago, didn't I, about the Top Guns. Segment 1 for this particular edition of the podcast is the Top Gun fields have been announced, Smithy. I'm sure most punters have been all over this. There was a little bit of backlash, I suppose, but the field for the Top Gun Sprint, Alpha Zulu, Big Energy, Elite Machine, J is J, Launch Code, Scalacci, Transponder, Wow She's Fast, Reserves, Sage to Neil Nangar Lucy. I love that field. I think there is so much class, so much brilliance. At this stage, Alpha Zulu is the favourite. He is just absolutely airborne at the moment. What do you make of his chances? What do you make of the field?
Yeah, obviously he's locked in for the Phoenix as well, so it could be a big few months for Alpha Zulu, and it's been a big couple of months previously as well. He's a very talented greyhound. I think everyone's seen that from basically day one with this dog, and he's just absolutely flying. He's in form. He's in the right kennel. He's going to be incredibly hard to beat, particularly if he draws a box. But at the same time, he's got plenty of early speed, so he can probably overcome most boxes in a race like this. But the Topgun, as we know, it throws up curly ones each and every year. Photo Man last year won from out wide, and he was the first reserve. So you never know who's going to win these sort of races, and that's what makes the Topgun so exciting.
From memory, there might have been a dog called David Bale, I reckon, who got a run as a reserve about, I'd say 10 years ago, and won that was a Topgun. It was a Group 1 of some sort, but they can bob up and they can score. There has been a little bit of a change in the criteria, the way the Topgun panel put together the field, Smithy, and I guess the prime example of this would be the greyhound like Wildfire. I heard George Ferrugia on RSN through the week chatting about the changes to the criteria and how a greyhound like Wildfire with no group form normally would have no chance of getting a run in the Topgun, despite the fact he is probably the most exciting and potentially the most talented staying greyhound in the country right now.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, sometimes in previous years, you probably don't have the opportunity to put together the best field that there is, because you're looking at the resumes, you're looking at group race form, you're looking at age prize money, ranking, all these sort of things that races like the Phoenix, the $1 Million Chase, the 715, they can kind of sway how some of those rankings look, given that they're so high in prize money, and our rankings don't necessarily pick them up. A prime example is the second reserve, Nangar Lucy, who's ranked 159. Most of the runners in the race are between 112 and 125, and she looks like an outlier. In previous years, maybe she'd get counted against for ranking. But yeah, just removing some of those conditions and leaving it up to the expert panel to come up with the best field. Obviously, it's changed the way that the races look this year, and we'll keep reassessing each and every year and try and do the best thing for the race, best thing for the club, best thing for greyhound racing as a whole, with the great vessel that is the Topgun. But I'm really happy with the process that the panel went through, and I think we came up with a really, really good field.
Absolutely cracking fields, no doubt about that. As we move on now to our next segment, which is rolling seeds in the Phoenix. Now, 2 of these greyhounds have already been placed away. I'll be honest, Smithy, I haven't done a lot of research into this, but what I wanted to do on our first episode was just make this a little bit of a general chat. Who do we believe could be a Phoenix contender? And we'll start to draw up our seeds. Obviously, we've got 2 of them locked away. Postman Pat, number 1, Alpha Zulu, number 2. So they're locked away. They will be running in the Phoenix, barring any reason for them not being there, an injury or something on the way.
Yeah, exactly right. So already locked in for the Thompson camp. Alpha Zulu is signed up with Good Bloke Society, which I think will be a really good fit. Obviously, in the ownership is John O'Brien, and that'll be nice and easily promoted, that one. And then Postman Pat with the Greyhounds HQ syndicate, who we've seen in lights in recent years with the likes of She's a Pearl and Bandit Ned and plenty of other really classy greyhounds as well. So that fits like a glove, and they can just get ready for the Phoenix. I know there's plenty of big races to win, particularly for Alpha Zulu with the Topgun, and then Postman Pat, he'll probably come back and have a crack at a Melbourne Cup and then go into a Phoenix as well. But those 2 are locked in, and then you've got the Queensland Flame Race, Jim, which means there's going to be a Queensland dog in this race, and Jay's probably the headline act at the moment for Queensland racing, the $1 Million Chase winner. We'll see him in the Topgun on Saturday, and he's probably my number 1 seed to get that slot. But there's plenty of good greyhounds up in the Sunshine State at the moment. But I've got Jay in my field at the moment. But he does have to win that Queensland Flame Race in late November.
Also, there's Bears Bullet, who won the very, very rich Ipswich Cup, who does bounce with early speed and could go a long way in a series like that, a little bit like Tiana Bell did qualifying last year. Look, I just based it around the Topgun field this week, and I thought there'd be a lot of greyhounds if they perform well in the Topgun, finish top 4, run big races. They'll go high up in my seeds. I speak of greyhounds like even Elite Machine, Big Energy. Launch Code's another one. We'll chat with Brooke Ennis in just a moment about his chances in the Topgun. The other one that I reckon could be one that gets picked up is Scalacci. I've got a big opinion of him. If he can run a big race in the Topgun and sort of take that next step against the Open Company, I think he'll be a contender. And I can't look past Wow She's Fast. Sportsbet teaming up with her 3rd year in a row just absolutely taking the piss. I mean, if she even runs reasonable in the Topgun, I reckon she is a monstrous chance to go around because the team at Sportsbet, they just love the story.
Oh, exactly right. They love the story, but they also just love the dog. It's almost like they've been part of the ownership group for the last couple of years. They've been on that ride with Shani, as she's known at home, and it just makes sense, wouldn't it? It'd be obviously a great selling point and a great story to talk about. But wow, she's fast going for 3 in a row. It's mind-boggling, really. I actually can't even fathom that this is even on the cards, Jim.
Run of the day. All right, we've got a bit of a run of the day, run of the week. New little segment. Not really, it's an old segment on this podcast, but new in the sense that it doesn't have to be a greyhound that raced at the Meadows. It could be a race that you saw at Ipswich where you thought, here's a dog we could follow, Smithy. So this is just sort of stretching the boundaries a little bit. I have come up with one who won at the Meadows through the week, but it was the Wednesday meeting. Promising youngster. I reckon we black book this one. Here comes Dazelle. I think this the pronunciation is for Desi Douch. The wraps on this boy
Diesel.
are huge. Diesel? We're locking in
Diesel. I asked Des the other night. We're confirming it. It's Here Comes Diesel.
Here we go. Here comes Diesel, I guess, then, Smithy. Here it is anyway, smashing them last week.
Here comes Dazelle, came out only fairly, showing pace was picked or natural, but now goes, here comes Dazelle. Here comes Dazelle, goes to the lead by about 2 or 3. Made in Space goes up to second. Around the outside was Can You Win. 2 lengths to West Star. Well back was Houdat Chandler, not in the race tonight with Catch a Star. And Picked a Natural, showed some pace, but drifted back rather quickly. Off the back, Here Comes Dazelle, is well out in front, the hot favourite. 4 lengths to Made in Space. Then for the back was Can You Win, and this is a win. Here comes Dazelle, wins by 5 lengths. Second, Houdat Chandler.
All right, so I actually went to pronunciations.com, Smithy, to try and work out the correct pronunciation in regards to that greyhound, and you've just told me I was completely wrong. But you have gone to Desi Douch, the main source, and I'm happy with that. Serious dog, though, this boy. He's had 2 starts, 2 wins. Track recently harrowed at the Meadows, and he still sets the clock alight. I think he's going to be a superstar.
Yeah, and you watch the way he runs as well. He's obviously a big, green-looking boy that has plenty of improvement in him. He's the type that can run decent enough sectionals that you could probably say that he's going to step up in class and be able to hold it all together. But yeah, he's a greyhound with plenty of upside. Maybe a Phoenix might come around too quick, but it wouldn't surprise me to see him contesting some of the big races over the next 6 months.
Big race preview. Well, it's time for the big race preview. Taking a look at the Meadows. Monday, Melbourne Cup Eve. Nice little program, this one. Highlighted by the running of the Silver Bullet, which is always a cracking race. We'll go through race by race, hopefully find a few winners. And then we'll get into a bit of a punters club as well to try and get a little bit of cash in the back pocket. Gamble responsibly, of course. Race number 1 on with 2, Mr. Easy. Here's Smithy. I like this boy. A lot of ability, 6 starts, 2 wins, 4 placings. You know I'm a little bit biased with Hillsville form, but his win 3 starts ago up the straight was outstanding, and I thought he held his own at the Bendigo Series, Restricted Win Series, and he can jump and run here.
Yeah, it's a tough little mix 6-7, this one. I'm probably leaning towards Ethanol Volume, and it's more of a gut feel pick than what I'm seeing in the form. I just think Ethanol Volume has some upside there and should get a nice little card across. We saw Black Ombre really impressive the other night at Sandown, and I think it might just give Ethanol Volume a beautiful card into the race. So I'm with the 5.
I'm with race 2, number 3, Shimmer Current. Mitchie Abea's favourite dog, but gee, it's cost him lately, and gee, it's been unlucky as well.
Yeah, I'm with it as well. And to be honest, it's a dog that it wouldn't completely shock me to see it in a Phoenix later this year. 29.67 PB, very fast dog. Needs to put it all together when it matters. But Shimmer Current, I think, is a clear pick for me in this one.
I'm with race number 3, Heat 1 of the Hume Cup. Just about nothing. It is such a hard race, to be honest. Ailey Bale's found a bit of form. She's now learning how to win at the Meadows. Hector Fawley, we don't really know where he's at the moment. His last month or 2 of work, maybe not his best. And I sort of look to the inside to maybe Buddy Manelli and Trending Yale, who I think have become really big chances because of their draws. And based on that, I might just go Trending Yale each way from box number 2.
Yeah, I don't mind Trending Yale at all. Hector Fawley is obviously the well, you could probably make the argument that he's the fastest middle distance dog in Australia at the moment. But coming from box 7 may find it difficult. But there is a scenario where Ailey Bale leads and Hector Foley just follows her across. But yeah, I definitely think the best box dog is Training Yale. So it scares me, but I'm aligning with you again.
That's a worry. Great minds, great minds, great minds. Smithy, it's like the old days. Race 4, I'm with number 2, Raiders Guide. I have been taken by these Tasmanians. I think we underrate the team from south of the Bass Strait as a rule, and we saw on Thursday night just how quick they could go, and now Raiders Guide, a greyhound who I think has really, really good ability and is just drawn to cross the red, hold the front and be hard to beat.
Yeah, this is scaring me. I like Triumph and I like Raiders Guide in this. I haven't seen any prices yet, but I think I'll be backing both of them. Raiders Guide, I think, had a really nice preparation. Came back across after that national sprint final, who I actually didn't get it all right in that final, but I actually gave a bit of a chance to. I pushed it the night before at the awards night, and maybe didn't live up to my expectations on that night. But I really like the fact they came back, gave him a look at the Meadows again, and then now they're here when it matters in a Hume Cup heat and comes up with a good draw. But Triumph and Raiders Guide are the two that I want to be in.
I think from memory, he trialled about 29.80 too, didn't he, in the lead up to the National Sprint Raiders Guide?
Yep. Yeah, so he's had that trial, and then he's had 2 races at the track now as well. So this will be his 4th look, and I think Connections have done the right thing by the dog and given him every possible chance, and then the box draws obviously helped as well.
Race 5, Heat 3, the Hume. I'm with Andre Bale, number 3. Jarek Bale, just a little bit of unknown. Maybe he's coming back to have another look at the Sale Cup, but I think he's a little bit old in the tooth now, and I'm happy to take him on, especially fresh, only off 1 run back. Yeah, I'm going with Andre Bale, but AMRON down in box 7. If he could find the rail at any point, he'd be in this.
Yeah, this is arguably, to me, the most open of the races. I think it's going to be really difficult to find a winner in this one, but I'm going to lean towards Aston Luciano. I was really, really taken with his most recent win. I thought he had to be tough, and he was. And again, that was just after the track had been harrowed as well. And his run, I know he's stepping up in class here, but I really do like the dog, and I think if he can get across and get himself into a nice position and nail the start, then Aston Luciano is going to make his presence felt.
A couple of dogs to follow in race 6. Your Colour Room, my Raiders, just such a high class sort of middle distance borderline stayer. I think this Hume Cup's right down his alley. If he's going to win a Group 1, it'll be this into the Sale Cup. If I had to pick a dog to do the double, it would be him. Rip and Grace is the other one. I just think she has got such a big motor. I think I tipped her in that Queensland Cup as well, where she ran a big race too. She was 3rd behind Palawa King. I don't think 600's her go. I think when she gets up to 700, maybe the Bold Trees fast approaching could be her go. But yeah, I'm willing to back Your Colour Room and just have a little saver on Rip and Grace.
I'm actually going to be with Minter Frost from the inside in this one. As he said, I've got a huge opinion of Your Colour Room. I've got a massive opinion of Rip and Grace. Corder, great guy. Like this is a cracking race. So I don't think we've spoken enough probably about how good these Hume Cup heats are, and they're so wide open. But Minter Frost for me, just from the inside, I think he'll get a really nice run into the race. Maybe can't run the times that some of these others can, but I do have a fair opinion, and the inside draw should bring him into it. Race
number 7, I'm tipping Fast Minardi on top. Now, I'll be honest, before Thursday night's run at Sandown Park, I probably wouldn't have been tipping Fast Minardi to win this, but here's the concluding stages of that, thanks to Greyhound Racing Victoria, GRV, the watchdog, of course. Just listen to this for a smashing in a Melbourne Cup prelude. It was something special.
Ball Molly gets to 3rd, then came Zippy Tesla, but Fast Minardi roared away, and Fast Minardi will see you heats night. Fast Minardi won it by 5, beat Awesome Avenger, and Rip and Grace has got through for 3rd. 4th across the line.
So there you go, home in about 10:35, 10:38, just absolutely airborne. Has a crack at the Hume Cup, now qualifying for the Melbourne Cup heats as well. This is a serious dog.
This is a proper greyhound. And as you said before, we maybe don't factor in Tasmanian racing as well, but their top liners are properly good. And this boy looks like he's one of the best ones we've seen in recent years. So Fast Minardi from the inside for me as well. When I saw 29.09 go up on the clock, I was flabbergasted. I was live on SEN at the time, and I was rattled, to be honest, Jim. I was expecting a 29.25, something like that, but 29.09 for a dog that we've seen over 700. He's placed in a Group 1 over the 700, and now we see him over 600. If he gets his own way from box number 1, he's going to be so hard to beat. But then you've got Zipping Orlando, Nangar Rocket, who are really, really top-line greyhounds from New South Wales as well. The form lines in this are coming here, there and everywhere, but Fast Minardi's my on-top selection after that run at Sandown.
Yeah, I've made him my best bet of the night, to be honest. I just think the sections were outstanding. 5:09 early at Sandown Park, and then to bring it home in 10:30s is just the complete package, especially for a 600-metre dog. So he rates very, very highly in my book, and I think he'll take out race number 7. I do think Zipping Orlando's running back to form. Beat a really good field. It was a zipping trifecta at Richmond last time. Just on the comeback trail, so I think he'll keep improving. Race number 8, the RSN Silver Bullet. 1 Fred Rose, 2 Exalted, 3 Tinker Norm, 4 Aussie Rocks, 5 already scratched Professor Snitch, 6 Umberto, 7 Make No Promise, 8 Landon Bale, reserves Awesome Avenger, Magic Muffin. I'm going to keep this really simple, and I'm going to have a place bet on Fred Rose. He's a bit of an enigma. He's got a massive motor. He could probably beat them if he really wanted to. I just think he'll get a nice run from the draw. Tinker Norm's going to lay up the track in box number 3, and I can see Big Fred, the big white beast, storming home for a place here, and then getting a run in the Phoenix.
Now, that's a big call, Jim. I'm going to be with Tinker Norm in this one. He obviously loves the Meadows. There's a few greyhounds in this that love the Meadows, including Aussie Rocks. It's a really tricky map because out wide you've got Make No Promise that's going to want to get across the rail. You've got Umberto and Landon Bale that are the speed runners in the race. I think Tinker Norm and Aussie Rocks will probably punch up as well, and could be a little bit of chaos out wide. Tinker Norm, we know, can use a little bit of the track, but hopefully he can just sit off the back of them and weave his way through the field and come at them late. So Tinker Norm on top for me.
Race number 9, one of the best Grade 5 Metropolitan races you'll ever see. Zipping Caleb, star youngster, as I said, he was placed behind Zipping Orlando at Richmond last week. Zulu Blast, who's a little bit out of form but has such a big motor. And then you scroll down the field and you see Yachi Bale, the Melbourne Cup champion, a Grade 5 at the Meadows. So I'm scratching my head how he's found himself there. But I'm tempted just to go away from all of those three, the big three, because they're all moderate beginners. And I'm going to go Winston Town each way. I think he'll lead. Don't tell me you were aligning, but he's $14 in the Watchdog Form Guide. I don't think he's got the strength to hang on, but it might be a 1 unit the win, 3 unit the place type of bet. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing because I thought I'd have one a little bit left of centre here. We can tip favourites from time to time, and I thought this one's going to be a little bit of juice, a little bit of value. My best value of the night, Winston Town. I thought if you're spending $5 on the race, you'd have $1 the win, and you'd have $4 the place because it's going to find the front. It's going to be leading first time round past the post, and it's going to have to hang on because they're going to be coming at it really, really hard. But if he can run, if Winston Town can kind of run a 30 and 10 running out in front, then I think that'll land in the top 3.
Yeah, I think he's a genuine chance. I'm still worried though that you're reading my emails. There's plenty of hacking going on at the moment. I reckon you've got into my Hotmail account. Race 10, Money O's for me, number 1. I think Peaky Joe's an up-and-comer who's going to get a beautiful run, but I do like Money O's. I think he's the class runner of the field. He's drawn nicely, and I think he can dominate from there.
I'm with Peaky Joe. I think the 1 and the 3 will probably take each other on, and Peaky Joe will just be able to smoke that pipe down on the rail and come at them mid-race and then towards the end of the race as well. So Peaky Joe on top for me in race 10.
Race 11, Oregon Courtwell for me. Drawn nicely. Box number 2, I think will get onto the fence and be hard to beat.
I'm probably going to play similar to Winston Town. I'm going to play Crystal Bale, and I know I've tipped her plenty of times on the Green Light on podcast just because she has that early speed. So again, one of those ones where if you're spending $5 on the race, have $1 the win, $4 the place.
Race 12, last sports bet with mates, Grade 5, 525. I'm going 1 left of centre hero. I think we'll get a beautiful run just trailing the speed. It's number 3, Willa Bale. I can see the 1 and 2 going toe-to-toe, blow for blow in front. And if Willa Bale can just tuck in 3rd or 4th through the first corner, I think can win the race. Will be about $5, so I think a nice little each-way play.
I was tossing up between the 1 and the 2, and I'm a little bit concerned that they will take each other on and ruin each other's chances, but I'm leaning towards the 2 Minty Box, the best first split of 502. If it can bring that, then I think it'll be able to get across, find the rail, and be really hard to beat. So the 2 for me.
The Punters Club. All right, a bit more of a generic, boring intro, that one, to the Punters Club this time, Smithy, but it used to be something really regal on this podcast, and we've simplified it. But gamble responsibly, of course. What are you really gambling with? Call Gamblers Help, 1-800-858-858, or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. My spend, I'm going to keep it pretty simple and just go each way fast Minardi. I probably could be more confident and just go the win, but I am a little bit worried about zipping Orlando. But I think on the way fast Minardi went last Thursday night at Sandown Park, I reckon he'll win the Hume Cup. He's got the speed to lead it. He should dominate his heat from box number one, and I think he'll place himself in the final as the dog to beat, which is pretty rare for the Tasmanians to be elevated that high in a Group 1 series, but I think he's the real deal. So I'll go 25 each way or 50 the win, depending on how much guts you have with fast Minardi.
I'm going to be with Hume in race number 2. I'm going outside of the big feature races. I think Hume Current's going to be incredibly hard to beat, well drawn. And I know this is a mixed 3-4, but almost looks like it's been well positioned, well graded here. Hume Current just can run faster times than the rest of these, in my opinion. And if she can run that low 5-second sectional like we know Hume Current at her best can do, then Hume Current should be winning, and that's my win bet for the week.
All right, Smithy, before we get to Brooke Ennis and chat everything greyhound racing with Brooke, including the retirement of AMRON Boy, the runners in the Hume Cup, the runner in the Topgun, she's got plenty going on at the moment. I want to pose a question for our listeners to try and win themselves a nice little Phoenix merch pack that you haven't got over the line yet, but we'll push it over the line. Sort of have to once we've done it, Smithy. What could we pose as a question for this episode? I thought
we have to. We've announced.
I think we could do what is your best bet and why for the Monday night Melbourne Cup Eve meeting. It doesn't have to win, but we want some good pushes on social media through the Meadows page, or you can jump on Spotify, and there's a little link down below where you can answer the question. If you do it there, myself and Smithy will sit down through the week, and the most imaginative type of response, the most exciting response. It would be nice if the dog wins. Do you agree, Smithy? I reckon that's the question we go with.
Yeah, you're probably getting extra points if the dog wins, but I just want to hear the analysis. I want to hear a reasoning, whether it's an omen bet and you want to tell us the story why it's an omen bet, whether you want to just get really stuck deep into the form and you want to tell me exactly how the race is going to figure out. But I don't know. There's no real hard and fast rules in this, Jim. I reckon we'll just open it up to the listeners and see where they land, and then we'll make a decision next week.
I like it, Smithy. So the question is, what is your best Monday night tip and why? What is your best Monday night tip at the Meadows and why for your chance to win a Meadows merch pack, Phoenix merch pack as well, because this, of course, is the Phoenix Flight Pass, Smithy. Episode 1 done and dusted. Do you need to add any more? We're about to get to Brooke Ennis and find out all of the inside info, so we're pretty much done with you.
Yeah, you're pretty much done with me. You can get rid of me, but I will say if I'm going to give you a Monday best bet that's outside of the tips that we've just gone through with the whole thing, it is buy a Topgun ticket to the flight deck, we're calling it, on Topgun night, $80, 4 hours beverage package, and food included as well. I don't think you'll get much better value than that. So it doesn't matter what day it is, that's my best bet.
And as I let you go, Smithy, Wednesday we will be recording our next episode for this mini-series, which we will talk all things Top Gun. So looking forward to that.
Sounds like a plan, Jim.
Inside info.
Let's get down to our first inside info on the flight to the Phoenix Green Light On podcast. We've got Brooke Ennis here for a little bit of a chat. Brooke, welcome to the podcast. I think this is the first time for you.
Yeah, it is. Thanks for having me. I think I've done well at avoiding it so far. So
I was going to say,
here I am.
You have avoided it just nicely. And it's not like you've been floating under the radar either. The kennel have been absolutely flying, as they always are, Team Ennis. But talk to me a little bit about the news hot off the press this week, the retirement of your kennel superstar and just an absolute champ through and through, AMRON Boy.
Yeah, it's probably happened a lot sooner than I guess I probably would have wanted, and probably Jamie. He's had such an outstanding career, and he's been such a great dog to everyone involved with him, really. So unfortunately just sustained an injury that, will be okay in a few months, but a dog at his level of racing, it probably was just going to make a comeback hard for him. Obviously he's competed at such the highest level throughout his whole career, which I think is a real testament to the dog, but not only Jamie. It's no secret that he's the brains of our little team here, but big credit to both of them. But it's been a sad week, and I probably have not copped it as well as maybe the dog or Jamie as such. But no, look, we've had the best time with him, and I think we've just really embraced it, and no, it's been a good ride.
Dual Group 1 winner. Talk to me about the highlights. What's been the most memorable race for you? Was it one of the Group 1s, or was there another race that just stood out for a different reason?
Yeah, I think, maybe just the Phoenix. It was such a great time, and SEN was so great to us, and we really felt like a part of their team as well. And, I know he got beat, but I think he probably shouldn't even have got that close, really. He was in such good prime then, and everything he was doing was just always a tiny bit behind. Wow, she's fast, but just that run, and he was last on the first corner, and to finish a whisker behind her was probably phenomenal.
I think that's a real credit to you, Brooke, to put potentially the greatest run of his career as a defeat. It just shows the quality of you and Jamie as a training team, and that you are right. I've seen the vision of the SEN team. I think they were over in America for the Super Bowl, it might have been, and Hutchie's in there. Yep. They're all in a room just going absolutely nuts for AMRON Boy. And that race, for me, I think it was the greatest race that I've called. Like, just being a part of it was just phenomenal, and I could imagine as a trainer what it would have been like.
Yeah, look, he probably had a few of those defeats, but I think that run was just so enormous. And, I wouldn't be human if I wasn't disappointed if I didn't get in the car that night and feel a little bit sad about the situation. But, these dogs are really hard to come by, and to be involved in a race like that, the second year running, and to take on a bitch who's just been so phenomenal as well. It's, it was a ton of fun. And as I said, Hutchie and the team were just so great to be a part of.
It would have been character building, I reckon, those. There was about a 3-month period, Brooke, where I think I was calling you the deflated balloon with AMRON Boy, because he was so bloody close time and time again. And yet he was just always so massive in defeat when he was beaten. And if he wasn't beaten, he was winning them.
Yeah, and I think I vaguely remember Melbourne Cup heats, and I remember walking away so flat and so down. I just thought maybe this will never come around again. These dogs are so hard to come by, and I think I made it, a personal mission to just try and enjoy him and not get caught up in the hype and not take it for granted. But I remember walking away just, feeling so sad and, just so defeated about it all. And I would have woke up the next day feeling the same. But as the day went on, you look at the dog and, he tries his best. And to be honest, he never knew he was getting beaten. He was getting in the catching pen first. And especially that Phoenix, I remember getting him from the catcher, and he was smiling at me he's like, did you see what I'd done? Like, I won. And, so I think he just really made me feel a little bit happier about it all. But, you have to be gracious in defeat too. It's part and parcel of the game.
I just need to know from my perspective, do I continue with that method of saying you look like a deflated balloon? Did that help the situation at all or not?
Look, I think there were some fun times from all the people in the media, to be honest, over that period. But, look, I can handle it. It's fine.
Do you sit down with our mate Mitchie Abaya and have a nice dinner now that AMRON Boy's retired?
I think he probably owes me a dinner. And even that, he's entitled to his opinion. And it was almost like the dog heard him and just said, well, stuff you. Yeah. I'll show you what it's all about. And, look, it is what it is. Everyone's entitled to opinion, and I think his opinion quickly changed.
No, that's it. Let's move on to Monday, and then we'll have a quick chat about the Topgun as well, in which you've got a runner engaged in that. AMRON Dan starting off with race 5, box number 7. I reckon you would have been cursing at the box draw. He's a hell of a lot better when he draws inside.
Yeah, he is. And, to be fair to the dog, he never does draw inside. He's, he might get the odd one every now and then. But, look, I think we're probably not seeing the best of him to what we're seeing at home. I think he's got a lot of confidence, and he's probably going, as good as he has been the last few months. But I just think the box draw is going to be hard for him to cross. But in saying that, as he's got a bit mature too, he's not coming out and crashing down at the fence like he was. So I think just a little bit of clean room, we'll probably see him right up there. I think his last few runs have been really great.
He's as strong as the day is long. Race number 6, you're back up with Responder. Now, this is an interesting runner for Robbie Bean, Bernardo's Sunset Believer, the breeding. You trained a couple from the first litter. This is the repeat mating. And one of them you stretched out to 600 metres successfully and got the talk. Now, is that sort of the way you see Responder as being a similar type of dog with good 500 metre form who should be able to stretch out the 600 metres?
Yeah, I think so. She's coming back from a back muscle that I think she sustained in June, if I remember correctly. And her last few runs have been extraordinary as well. And her trials and and things indicate that she's going to be thereabouts. So, yeah, look, I think you never know unless you try. So, but like I said, she's been running on good. I think she ran second behind Explicit last week and, was probably only beaten 3.5 lengths and, doesn't have the early pace that he has. So if she can pop herself right there, I think she'll be strong enough in the finish.
I'm going to put the pressure on you as we so often do on this podcast. Who's the best of the two? Who should we be putting the hard-earned cash on? Of course, gambling responsibly.
Oh, look, I think they've both got really bad draws, but I think Responder could be a little sneaky just from there because she won't worry about box 5. She'll go pretty straight, as most of Rob Bean's dogs do that I have in the kennel. So, yeah, look, I think if she's up there nice and early, she might be good each way.
Talk to me about the Topgun launch code. Nice greyhound to have in a race like the Topgun with really good early speed.
Yeah, he's been such a great dog since he's come to the kennel. He would just come about one night, and I think he's had 12 starts now, and this is for us, and this is going to be his 3rd Group 1. So he's been a real little surprise packet. He can split a nice early split if he begins. But, yeah, look, it's going to be a really tough race, and like all Group 1s, I think box draws are really going to play a part in this race because there's going to be a ton of pace and, yeah, we've just got to see where we end up on that first turn.
Where would you like to draw? Inside or did he win the Group 1 at the Meadows from wide out last time?
Yeah, he actually won from box 6, I think. And yeah, I just think he had a little bit of luck as well. No one really began that great, so he just had half a length on them and was able to get a little bit of room and got the job done. So, but I think ideally, if I could draw box 1 and maybe transponder in box 2, that would be nice. But
I think everybody's wanting that, aren't they?
Yes, but no, I think in all those big group races, when there's pace, you want to be as close to the rail as you can get.
How quick were you into the cocktails after launch code 1? Was it the Maturity? It was the Maturity, wasn't it, mid-year? I get that the Silver Chief confused, but you were in Fiji, I think it was.
Yeah, it actually was, and I think I took a little bit of a holiday not realising that the Maturity was on, but massive thanks to Matt Pollard, who always looks after our dogs for us. We put a little bit of pressure on him. But to be honest, we had to set an alarm to watch the race because they're a few hours in front. And I think we might have had an early night that night. We had the alarm, watch the race, and I don't think we slept again after that.
That's absolutely brilliant. We love your work, Brooke. Good luck with everything moving forward. It's a massive couple of weeks. Obviously, the road to the Phoenix as well. And who knows, Launch Code might take that next step, winning a Top Gun, and could be one of the top seeds heading toward the Phoenix. I'm sure you'd love to be a part of it next year like you were last year with AMRON Boy.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, James.
Well, that's it for episode number 1, the Phoenix Flight Path or Flight Path to the Phoenix, whichever way you want to look at it. The countdown is on to the great race at the Meadows in December. Until next time, punters, safe travelling and happy punting. What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.